Welcome to part 5, everyone. We're almost there with one more video to complete this series of designing an invitation from scratch. If you have been tuning into these tutorial videos, I'm positive that you've learned something from this series. Therefore, don't hesitate to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Megabytes in Tech. The objectives to be covered in this video are as follows. Before continuing with this project, I'll ask a question that you should be able to answer correctly based on the objectives covered in the previous tutorial videos. The question for this video is, what is the purpose of grouping layers on Canva? Let me know in the comments and I'll let you know how you did. Let's proceed with the project. From observation, it is clear that the space to enter the name of the individual celebrating her birthday is not sufficient. As a result, I have to move some layers closer to the top. To do this, I selected the layer and used the up arrow key on the keyboard. This will be done for the layers containing the balloons, the centerpiece, and the text box with the text "You are invited to celebrate." Now that there is sufficient space for the name, I will click on the Add a Text Box button. I will change the color of the text in this text box to white so that it can be easily displayed on the dark background. I will also move the text box to its desired location. Once I've done that, I will type the name of the individual celebrating her birthday. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I have changed the name to Mary J. I will also select a desired font style for this name, and I am looking for a cursive font style so that the name can look different from the other text on the invitation, and I also want it to pop. With that, you can scroll through the list of fonts to see the one that you desire. However, based on my experience with font styles, my go-to font for cursive is a font called Better Saturday. So I will proceed to type that within the search bar, and once it is found, I will select the font. I will now increase the size of the text in the text box, and I will change its color to a shade of gold from the project. I do this by clicking on the A with the colors beneath and then identify which of the shades I wish to select. I will go ahead and I will select this one. With this, the name is not looking as bright as I would want it to, so I will add a neon effect to the name. That is by selecting effects and then selecting the neon style. This effect creates a neon glow to the text with which I am satisfied, so I will make some minor adjustments to the name, that is to increase its size and to ensure that it is positioned correctly between the text boxes above and below. The next thing that I will do is to create separators around the date, time, and location. This will be achieved by duplicating the text box for "You are invited to celebrate", and I will position the text box above the date and time. With that, I will replace the text with full stop, and that is by clicking the full stop key or period key on the keyboard. I'll zoom here to show you that the full stops are in the shape of a square. However, I do desire for them to be in the shape of a circle. So what I will do is change the font style to one where the full stop is in the shape of a circle. In this case, I believe Comic Sans offers that, and so I will select the Comic Sans font. Once I'm okay with that, I will make some adjustments in terms of the position of this text box, and I will also increase the letter spacing between the full stops. And what that is simply to create some wider gaps between each full stop. That is by selecting that icon with the 3 lines and the arrow beside, and then increasing the number on the letter spacing. In this case, I have set it to 100, and I will delete the full stops that run over into the second line. Once I've made some additional adjustments and I'm satisfied with this, I will position it accordingly and duplicate this text box. Once the text box is duplicated, I will position this duplicate beneath the date and time. I will again duplicate this text box to create a vertical separator between the date, time, and location. Hence, I will decrease the number of full stops within this text box, and I will rotate it to a degree of 90. Once it is at 90 degrees, I will move it to the desired location and remove the additional full stops that will surpass the height of the date and time. Once I have this at the desired height, I will make some minor adjustments to the position of the surrounding text boxes. Right here, I am selecting multiple layers. To do this, remember to hold the Shift key on the keyboard and click the layers that you wish to select. With this, I am able to move multiple layers at once. At this point, I will zoom out to view the invitation as a whole. I am currently satisfied with what is on the invitation so far. So I will show you one last thing for this video, and that is to add a tab and go to canva.com. Again, I'm already logged in, so I will go to templates and then I will select the photos option. Here I will demonstrate that at this point you are still able to add photos to the invitation if you so desire. I have searched for gold dust and I'm scrolling through to see if there is anything that catches my attention. I will stick to this second result here and I will add it to the folder that was created. Once it has been added, I will go back to the project and place this image on the project. I will access the image within the folder by selecting Projects on the vertical menu and the Folders tab. I will open the folder that was created and then click on the image, which has now been added to the project. I will now move this image to its desired location, and with that I will make some adjustments to the transparency of this image, and that is to give it a faded effect in the background. I will leave it at 44 and I will duplicate this image to balance the opposite side of this invitation. And you may repeat these steps to place any additional images that you wish on this project. That takes us to the end of this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Megabytes in Tech for more design tips and tutorials. Stay tuned for the final video in this series. Remember that free Canva Pro plans will be available for giveaway soon.